The current Kindle Oasis is the third generation and was launched in 2019. After the Paperwhite saw a huge update in 2021, many were expecting for the Oasis to see a similar update in 2022. But that didn't happen. Instead, Amazon launched the new basic Kindle and the Kindle Scribe, which begs the question, is the Kindle Oasis still a good choice? Hi, I'm Khalid, and in this video we will have a look at the key specs of the Kindle Oasis, see why it's well liked and why maybe other e-readers are the better choice for now. Let's start with the most obvious selling point, the design. And let me just take a step back here and paint a larger picture. The first Kindle Oasis launched with a smaller screen than the current model, but already had the same asymmetrical design. A wider frame on one side and physical page turn buttons. The first model was optimized for super easy handling. It was very small and with only 131 grams exceptionally lightweight. For a weight this low, Amazon had to make one big compromise though, which was cutting the battery capacity on the Oasis significantly compared to other e-readers. To compensate for the smaller battery, the Kindle Oasis had a case with a larger built-in battery, which charged the e-reader on the fly. Even though this design is still one of my favorites in the e-reading market, it obviously came at a cost of having to worry about battery life in an e-reader when using it without the case, which for many people was a sacrifice too big to accept. So Amazon went back to the drawing board and launched the second generation without compromise, doubling down on the asymmetrical design, included an aluminum body, and used a larger screen. It was then when the Oasis solidified its position as a true premium device. When the third and current generation launched and Amazon included the temperature adjustment, the already great e-reader became even better, and was the only Kindle with that technology and a larger screen. Which brings us to the present day, where the position of the Oasis isn't as clear-cut anymore. The Kindle Paperwhite update in 2021 was a huge deal, not only because it brought the largest refresh to the Paperwhite hardware ever, but because it moved the e-reader so much closer to the Oasis. The screen size is the most obvious change. The Kindle Paperwhite has a 6.8-inch display. The Oasis has 7 inches. The difference is so small that you don't really even notice it when putting them side by side. So one of the key selling points of the Oasis was mostly gone. Another hit was the inclusion of color temperature adjustment to the Kindle Paperwhite. It was the next logical step, of course, but also meant that yet another one of the Oasis' unique selling points wasn't so unique anymore. And the third one is the asymmetrical design. The Kindle Scribe is obviously in another size segment, but it's also using an asymmetrical design for easier handling, but is missing the page turn buttons. And here is where other manufacturers come in. Kobo, Pocketbook, Tolino recognize the benefits of the design and build e-readers with a similar form factor. But unfortunately for the Oasis, that's not all, because recently newer e-Encarta 1200 technology is being used more and more by other e-readers as well. The Paperwhite was actually one of the first models to use it. And it shows. Don't get me wrong, the contrast levels on the Kindle Oasis are great. It was one of the best e-Encarta screens on the market. But the Paperwhite screen is even better. Contrast levels are almost perfect and text really pops. In direct comparison, there is really no denying that the Paperwhite is better in this regard. And that's not just true for another Kindle, but also for the Kobo Libra 2. It also uses the newer ink technology and won me over with its almost perfect screen. If you haven't done so already, check out my review on the Libra 2. The link is in the description below. So as you can see, the market has changed over the past few years significantly, and there are some great alternatives to the Kindle Oasis. The Paperwhite being the most obvious choice with its lower price and better screen. However, that doesn't mean that the Kindle Oasis is a bad choice, even with having all the mentioned points in mind. Because one thing no other e-reader on the market is doing as well as the Oasis is not compromising. The aluminum frame and the flush screen still offer the best haptics with an overall tremendous build quality. One thing I haven't mentioned so far is that the asymmetrical design is not only showing on the front, but also on the back of the device. The one side of the Oasis is not only wider, but also thicker than the rest. This is something no one else offers and makes handling the e-reader super easy and comfortable. The page turn buttons have the best pressure points by far, and all the other mentioned advantages are still true. They just aren't that unique anymore. So to make a long story short, yes, the Kindle Oasis is still a good choice, even without having gotten an upgrade in 2022. But it might not be the best deal anymore. Here's what I recommend. If you're thinking about buying the Oasis, be conscious of your requirements in an e-reader. If you want the absolute best display quality, you should check out the Paperwhite. If you want the best screen and an asymmetrical design, check out the Kobo Libra 2. And if you're willing to pay a little extra to get the best haptics and are willing to compromise on the screen a little bit, the Oasis is the right choice. Make sure to also check out my long-term reviews on the Kindle Paperwhite and the Kobo Libra 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for your time watching and see you in the next one.